With over 49,000 plants and 92,000 animal species, plus an estimated 400,000 unidentified ones, India has an abundantly rich biodiversity. In the sub-Himalayan eastern India and eastern and western Ghats that top in India's biodiversity, sadly, there has been a steady decline owing to unabated population growth, uncontrolled mining of natural resources, and climate change. Biodiversity in agriculture has been native to India for ages. Of the 168 crop plants that originated in India, the major ones are cereals, millets, pulses, vegetables, fruits, and fiber crops, apart from the 320 or so wild versions of these. The M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation, or MSSRF, has been working for over 2 decades on participatory in situ on-farm conservation with the tribal communities in Jaipur in Koraput, Odisha, and Koli Hills in Namakkal, Tamil Nadu in the eastern Ghats, and in Wayanad, Kerala in the western Ghats. Jaipur track in Odisha is a secondary center of rice genetic diversity, and Koli Hills high genetic diversity of minor millets, whereas Wayanad has significant genetic diversity in yams, rice, and medicinal plants. The genetic erosion in all these areas has been rapid. For example,
we were once a biodiversity-rich world, we are going to a poor world. This will be unfortunate because biodiversity is the basic need for food security, for livelihood security, and also biodiversity is the feedstock for modern biotechnology industry. If there are no genes, how do you transfer the genes?
Hence, the MSSRF, together with local tribal communities, strive to restore rice diversity through revitalization of its conservation and sustainable use. Upholding a pro-nature, pro-woman and pro-poor development paradigm, the MSSRF promoted the role and capacity of women in conservation and income generation. Illustrating this is the development of Kalinga Kalajira, reselected from the land-raised Kalajira through farmer participatory plant breeding. This variety, with higher yield and aromatic grain, proved a blessing for the farmers. MSSRF's pioneering initiative saw farmers, encouraged by growing returns, set up small businesses like this tea shop owned by Chaitanya. Thanks to higher income, Chaitanya now sends his son Dhanurjoy to college. Dhanurjoy also manages a shop in his spare hours.
एथिरे आमे जान नथिलु तापरे हमको तांकर वृत्ति अनुसार आमे एबे मध्य करछु आ कोलाजीरा धान हमर बापा मने करथिले।
The in-situ on-farm conservation was facilitated by establishment of many village gene seed grain banks in villages and training women self-help groups or SHGs in managing them and in seed and grain accounting.
Agro असुविधा तेरलू कुंती आंडी मंडलाक ओनिया कैसे बाहर जाय करी बंदा संदा कर तेरलू आणि का तेरलाय आम्ही नोयला लोक खुली बुत्ती करी आणि करी दे तेरला काणी करी उसाई करी का तेरलू गोट दिन का तेरलू गोट दिन ना बुके तने सो तेरलू.
The MSSRF advocated integrated conservation system has a community-managed gene seed grain bank at the village level and a central ex-situ medium-turn gene bank where farmers' varieties are held in trust against a possible loss, thanks to a generous grant from the Italian government, and named it after Professor Scarazia Mugnosa, noted Italian geneticist and breeder, as the GT Scarazia mugnosa Community Genetic Resource Center, or SMCGRC, as a tribute to his contributions to conservation. The accessions in the SMCGRC belong to major food crops and are accompanied by their passport data and associated traditional and ethnobotanical knowledge. These are accessible to anyone with consent of the holder community. The access is facilitated by MSSRF through material transfer agreement on agreed terms. To revive and preserve traditional knowledge systems, MSSRF has established a new center of research called Biju Patnaik Medicinal Plants Garden and Conservation Center in Koraput on land donated by the Odisha government. The center preserves over 600 medicinal plants and associated knowledge identified with the cultural ethos of major tribal communities.
In addition to that, because of this rich biodiversity and because of a lot of documentation which has been done by MS Swaminathan Research Foundation in collaboration with the community, there is a good chance that Koraput region could be declared as a global important agricultural heritage site.
While in Koraput, its major conservation-related interventions focused on rice land races and their enhanced productivity, MSSRF's concern in Tamil Nadu's Koli Hills is revival of cultivation of small millet land races now under serious threat of loss. Long-time small millet cultivation in Koli Hills has generated large genetic diversity, the major of them being the finger, little and foxtail millets. However, introduction of tapioca as a cash crop posed a threat to this diversity. From 1994, the MSSRF took to promoting small millets conservation since its studies showed that low profitability from small millets and drudgery for women in post-harvest processing were hastening their loss. So, MSSRF's farmer participatory conservation envisaged enhanced profitability and availability of technology that eliminated drudgery. Farmers accepted MSSRF's intervention on intercropping of millet and tapioca, as this minimized weeds and offered 2 harvests from the same land, a food crop in 3 months and a cash crop in 10 months.
களை எடுக்கிறதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு சிரமம் இல்லை, வெட்டுறதுக்கு களை பறிக்கிறதுக்கு பிரச்சனை இல்லை. அப்போ இப்போ 4 மாதத்துல 3 மாதத்துல இந்த கேவுரு வந்துடுது எங்களுக்கு சாப்பாட்டுக்கு. அப்புறம் 10 மாதம் கடத்தி இந்த குச்சி கிழங்கு வந்து எங்களுக்கு காசுக்கு வந்து செலவுக்கு உதவி.
In 6 village clusters, MSSRF organized women into self-help groups, equipped them with millet processing mills, and trained them in management, value addition, and product marketing. This made a remarkable difference in the community's outlook on conservation, encouraging them to cultivate and retain the nutritious small millets in their diet. Also, value-added millets gave them increased income in the market. Mechanically dehulled little millet and foxtail millet fetch twice their raw grain price in the urban market, and value-added finger millet fetches up to 6 times the raw grain price. Marketing properly packaged products under individual brand names with the organic food label has also added to women's employment considerably, raising their social status and esteem. Apart from organizing marketing, Koli Hills Women's Self-Help Groups also run a Koli Hills Natural Foods shop in a commercial complex, attracting growing tourists. What's more, to popularize millet consumption, Koli Hill folks have even published, in collaboration with MSSRF, a recipe book on traditional millet foods, a noteworthy measure of the women's enthusiasm-driven initiative. Self-help groups steered conservation, value addition, and marketing initiatives have combined to give birth to the Koli Hills Agro Biodiversity Conservers Federation, an umbrella body of 40 self-help groups and 4 farmers' clubs that unite 500 families as its members. Now commemorating its 20th year, the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation has made invaluable contributions to conservation and sustainable management of agrobiodiversity. These, partnered by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, have important lessons in creating economic stake for promoting the livelihood of conservers, as well as in recognizing and rewarding primary conservers. A recently concluded study of Wayanad in Kerala by MSSRF's own Community Agro Biodiversity Centre, or CABC, has brought fresh evidence of the abundantly rich flowering plant diversity in this Western Ghat district and the threat these are under. Listing 2,034 species under 903 genera and 171 families, the study has made taxonomic discoveries, hitherto unreported habitats for many endemic species, and rediscovery of several endangered species. Kerala's rich biodiversity and traditional knowledge on medicinal herbs and plants has given birth to the world-acclaimed Ayurvedic system of medicine, and traditional rice varieties feature importantly as remedies in the system. Traditionally, there has existed among Kerala's people a deeply abiding trust and knowledge on the curative qualities of medicinal plants. However, declining biodiversity and lifestyle changes have sadly tended to erode these. Revitalization of community conservation is secured through training people on the therapeutic properties of herbs and plants and home-level making of medicines.
ഞാൻ സാധാരണ ഒരു ഹൗസ് വൈഫാണ്. എനിക്ക് ഈ പ്രദേശത്തുള്ള പച്ചമരുന്നുകളെ പറ്റിയോ ഒന്നും കൂടുതലായി അറിവില്ലായിരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾ 2007 പിന്നെ സ്വാമിനാഥൻ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ്റെ ഷാജി സാറുമായിട്ട് സാർ ഇവിടെ വരികയും ഞങ്ങൾ കുറച്ച് വനിതകൾക്ക് പിന്നെ ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തു തരികയും ഈ ഔഷധ സസ്യത്തെ പറ്റി പറഞ്ഞു തരികയും ചെയ്തു. അങ്ങനെ കുറേ ഔഷധ സസ്യങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് ഞങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുകയും
In conservation of plant genetic diversity, particularly local cultivars and neglected and underutilized species or NUS, the CABC adopts the 4C strategy. Participating with farmers, MSSRF retrieved and promoted conservation of about 20 cultivars, many of which were under threat of loss owing to changes in wetland use. It also promoted commercialization of 2 scented and 1 medicinal variety to add to the farmers' income. In fact, the MSSRF-led study on the medicinal variety Navara triggered extensive research on it by other researchers.
പാലക്കാപ്പ് തറവാടാണ്. തറവാട്ടിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ കുറച്ച് സമുദായത്തിൽപ്പെട്ട ആൾക്കാരാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾ കൂട്ടുകുടുംബമായിട്ട് താമസിക്കുന്നതാണ്. കൂട്ടുകുടുംബമായിട്ടാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ താമസിക്കുന്നതും ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നതും എല്ലാം. ഞങ്ങൾ പഴയ വിത്തുകളാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ നെൽകൃഷി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്.
MSSRF, with tribal communities, undertook a detailed survey of underutilized wild edible plants such as yams and taros. These were characterized and the traditional knowledge on their use compiled. The studies brought into sharp focus the importance of these wild plants for local food security and their conservation. Another major contribution of CABC to biodiversity conservation is its role in instituting the People's Biodiversity Register in Panchayats. The Indian Biological Diversity Act makes it mandatory for panchayats to undertake documentation of its biodiversity and associated traditional knowledge for both farmers and administration to benefit from. Despite efforts in creating an economic stake, conservation of all land races in agro-biodiversity hotspot regions has to face high opportunity costs. Although many of the rural and tribal conservers of genetic resources are extremely poor, the global public good they create at private cost has immense economic value now and in the future. Selfless contribution to posterity rarely gets recognized. The MSSRF is therefore naturally proud that the communities it associates itself with in agro-biodiversity conservation gained national and international recognition, such as when the tribal communities in Koraput engaged in on-farm conservation of rice land races was awarded the 2002 UNDP Equator Initiative Prize and the 2007 Government of India Genome Savior Award. Similarly, Kuricha and Kuruma tribal communities of Wayanad received the 2008 Genome Savior Award for conservation of rice varieties.
And we can learn from the example of these normal tribal women and men, their emphasis on biohappiness. If we emphasize on it, bioterrorism will vanish from the world and biohappiness will prevail.